The US dollar has lost 95% of its purchasing value during the past century. As blockchain and other digital technologies gain popularity, you might start to wonder if a digital asset will eventually take the place of fiat money as the global reserve currency. Can we anticipate XRP? Here is some data to back up my claim that if we had to pick one cryptocurrency right now, XRP ought to be the global reserve currency. For now, let me just tell you a few things. Today I'm here to talk about the past. This film is a treat for all of you. Okay, let's get started. The Kobayashi letter addresses the value of the US dollar and the longest naked market. The US dollar has lost 95% of its purchasing value during the past century. The value of the US dollar has decreased by almost 40% since 2000. Many people think that owning digital assets, such as Bitcoin, will enable them to acquire things, or else they will lag behind. I just wanted to give you a bit more detail. The dollar will eventually lose value and purchasing power, as is well recognized. The BRICS countries, China, India, Brazil, Russia, and South Africa, are working harder to diversify their trade and move away from the US dollar. They want to become more financially independent in order to safeguard themselves against US sanctions and economic shocks. Among their numerous initiatives, the BRICS countries are developing a local currency-based system and a cross-border payment system. Finding a substitute reserve currency for the US dollar or demonetizing the dollar are the goals of both of these endeavors. Many people think that the next brick-and-mortar currency will be based on the XRP system or utilize cryptocurrency assets. Yes, this list does contain Brazil. Collaboration between Ripple and the Brazilian government is not new. Their corporate empire spans Brazil, Africa, China, and India. Russia has even tried the XRP ledger. You lose confidence in their ability to fix this problem. Within the BRIC business, there has been talk of implementing the unit as a new reserve currency. This currency may be backed by gold or other currencies. In other words, they might assist it by pooling resources like the US dollar and the South African rand, embellished with valuable metals. Which is superior, gold or oil? Could this new currency be supported by gold or oil? Will XRP surpass all other currencies in the near future? It should come as no surprise that Ripple Labs founded XRP. It is intended for rapid, reasonably priced, and scalable cross-border payments. These features greatly enhance banks and money transfers. Currently, financial markets, some experts in the field, such as Linda P. Jones and David Schwartz, the CTO of Ripple, have hypothesized that XRP's neutrality might turn it into a global reserve currency. Efficacy, sustainability over time, and no single country has any influence over international bank settlements. If you were up against another superpower, you wouldn't want to use or give up your strength, power, or superpower, would you? On paper, you might be friendly and trade with each other, but your military is probably planning how a fight between you two might turn out. Every time this planning and conversation takes place, wouldn't Russia desire their own currency if the US dollar abruptly crashed tomorrow and everyone had to switch to a new one? What China wants is money. India would like to establish its own currency since it acts as a neutral middleman and its value is universally accepted. It might be something like XRP. Institutional investors are already interested in XRP's distributed ledger. In order to settle liquidity bridges, financial institutions and payment processors are investigating or committed to adopting Ripple's technology. Investigates the possible effects of XRP on the actual economy. Proposals submitted to US officials suggest that XRP might make a significant amount of the $1.5 trillion in bank funds available. Access to money, largely by allowing money kept in Nostra Vostra to be unfrozen. According to some estimates, the amount is approximately $25 trillion. The $1.5 trillion amount might not be correct because of certain US banks. It makes reference to reducing transaction costs by over $7.5 billion a year. I don't think that's what it is. If it's okay with you, I'd also like to talk about other things here. I opted to incorporate this in the film after researching it since I felt some viewers might find it intriguing. The Portuguese and Spanish real dios were the world's reserve currencies from the 15th to the 17th centuries. From the 17th to the 18th centuries, the Dutch gold deer was the world's reserve currency for about 200 years. Welcome to everyone watching from the Netherlands. I apologize. I should have known? Is Amsterdam taking place there? Wait a minute, I'm having trouble speaking. That Dutchman cast makes me dread for my life. I'm sorry about that humiliating experience. The British pound sterling existed in the early 19th century. The US dollar existed in the middle of the 20th century. Then there is the US dollar, which has existed since 1944. Those who hold these funds are maintaining them for shorter periods of time. The typical human lifespan is between 80 and 100 years. We're getting close to that number here in the United States. Your thoughts begin to wander on what comes next. The IMF is now finished with it. The International Monetary Fund says a new world reserve currency is imminent. Many scholarly articles and other sources make this claim. There has been some conversation about the idea for a brand new worldwide reserve currency that was probably inspired by the SDCRs. Who was in charge of it? That is the most important question. Who are you at the helm? Without a strong government to back it, the SDR or any other type of global reserve currency would find it difficult to get traction. Gaining respect, even the most basic kind. As a result, you start to question, who could that SDR ripple? Please pardon me while I demonstrate this. Alternatively, that several countries came to an agreement on. There are rules that I would follow. The banking system stabilizes all world orders. I believe that a significant change in the globe is about to occur. I'll say it aloud. We're going to move to a new approach to financial tracking and budgeting. Everyone believes that the currency will eventually crash. Blockchain refers to new ways of recording financial transactions. It makes reference to the digital procedure of maintaining thorough records of every financial transaction in the retail industry. This will significantly improve our understanding of the circumstances. The balance of power between countries and their people is also seriously threatened. I believe that before we can have digital currency, we need digital laws that defend human rights. However, this new funding will be utilized across the country. It's a popular misperception that digital currency is automatically safe due to encryption. I am reluctant to discuss the New World Order in light of the current situation. This is the second time in my life that, according to what I've seen, the leaders have talked candidly about starting a nuclear conflict. You know, everyone wants power. The demand for that style is very great. A possible global reserve currency has been raised by the International Monetary Fund. The primary subjects of discussion are digital assets and the technologies related to them. As a result of their research and the opinions of experts, the topic has changed to include digital currency, tokenized assets, stable coins, digital forms of special drawing, digital currencies issued by central banks, and so forth. Which computer programs most like writing? I forgot to mention XRP entirely, didn't I? I did ask about the technologies the person thinks would help the IMF choose BL among the current options of an ESDR and a new global reserve currency. What is that exactly? No issue. I'll show you. It does note that central bank digital currencies IMFC and CBDCs will be important components of the future global system, especially in terms of facilitating cross-border payments, increasing access to financial services, and disseminating policies. It is asserted that our main objective is to promote the expansion and interoperability of digital currencies, and that most significant central banks worldwide are either contemplating or have already started creating their own CBDCs. What is the general relationship here? If each central bank created outdated technology that is incompatible with the new lines, the current system would have to be rebuilt from scratch. The system is ineffectual as a result. Am I right? With SWIFT, I assumed everything was kept apart, right? Nothing seems to fit together. This is because different people are sending different messages that the 2022 standard was adopted. Everyone is also involved in